Hi friends, this is Dailey at Healing Heart Reiki, and I wanted to talk today about all of the planners. I love planners, and I've just found as who I am, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a Capricorn, that planners allow me to actually have this wonderful written way to get inside of my mindset and to really notice where I'm going right and where I'm kind of going sideways. As this upcoming year of 2021 approaches, and also because today is the winter solstice and there's so much energy in this day, and the universe is literally lined up astrologically and astronomically for us to really touch into who we want to be and how we want to be. I felt like it would be really fun today to do this little topic on planners and on how to plan for your upcoming year. So maybe I'm going to invite a couple of you guys really quickly and just say blessed solstice to all of you. I hope that you guys are having a beautiful solstice, and I actually may come on later in order to, I don't know, do some readings or something like that. It just sounds like it would be a lot of fun, right? But either way, let's get started. So, okay. So when it comes to planners, one really great thing to know is that you want to start before you even touch a planner with where you've been. And if you're able to look at the past year, it allows you to kind of get a sense of the things that worked for you and the things that were really challenging, so that you can actually create a better method or a better plan going forward. And once you've figured that out, and I think we'll be talking more about that over the next couple weeks, the next thing is that you really want to check in with how you want to feel. A lot of times, most of us are either directed towards the past and we're constantly looking back, or we're directed towards the future and we tend to want to look forward and say, oh, I want to create this, I want to be there. So a really powerful key is to actually drop in and just get into the vibe of what you actually want to feel in this moment in your life. So all of those things that you wish to be doing, to feel them right now. And from that place, to dream and imagine what would be really exciting to you. What would be really exciting to you to create, to adventure into, to offer to the world, right? So once you kind of get clear on those pieces, like how you want to feel, and then kind of where you want to go, like, you know, then you can get a planner that's really going to support you in that. And in terms of getting clear on where you want to go, I still really suggest the Reiki 1 process of dropping in like your daily meditation and just allowing space to see what comes up. Or you can do more of like a spiritual journey where you use a trance meditation, or you work with your own shamanic, like core shamanic processes to like really drop into your being and see what visions and dreams come up. So you can kind of work this many different ways. It just depends on who you are and what you're about. But those dreaming processes are really profound. And today's actually a really great day to do that because it's the solstice. So once you've figured out those things, then you get into the planner. And there's really planners of all kinds. It just depends on whether you like planning or whether you hate it. So I brought a couple of the ones that I've been using more recently to show you. But really, there are planners everywhere. You can get a basic planner from Target, and they have these wonderful like daily, monthly, weekly planners. You can get like one that I've used many a time in past years when I need ultra control freak, like a line for everything that I think, feel, and see kind of planner is the Franklin Covey planner series. I think it's about $120 for the full kit, and it literally walks you through every single thing. Like there's a space to put in when you have to go to the bathroom. Like that's how detailed the Covey planners can be. So if you really need that, then it's great. But this year, as I've already mentioned on here before, I'm using the Happy Planner. Happy Planners, this is the insignia of the company, the Happy Planner. And they're nice because they actually have a number of different types of planners. So if you need a full size versus a small size, there's all of that. And it allows you to just have space to, I mean, it's got like, sometimes I think there's quotes in some of them. Some of them have different focuses. So if you want weight loss or you want, but it has basically like a full monthly calendar. And then it has like a weekly calendar. And again, the layouts are really different depending on the Happy Planner. It's just a company that does a lot of this kind of work. So it's nice to be able to have a planner that goes through all 12 months because you can really see at a glance what you're doing. And if you're planning for business, you really do want to be able to look at portions of your year to see if you're still on track and to see if you're tracking your goals. So having a planner with all 12 months allows you, or even more, allows you to kind of look back at a glance and go, gosh, what did I do in the last 3 months of the year? Or what did I do, you know, for the first 6 months of the year? And you can actually just see your patterns really easily by going to those main pages. So I think it's good to have like just your main planner. And you can look at my Happy Planner from the last year, and I didn't have to get a whole new one, I just wanted to. But I used the spaces before. Let's see if I can show you. I'm very colorful in how I approach things. So every month, at the starting of every month, I actually would do like a little, almost like a vision board that would capture like how I wanted to feel for the month, how like the vibe that I wanted to feel like I was in for the month. And then doing that allowed me to kind of then from that place really anchor a little bit more deeply into what I wanted to do. Now for business planning, I think it's important to actually plan ahead and to know your 6 months to a year out, ideally a year out, a few months before you begin so that you can be organized. And at the same time, we're human. And so sometimes that doesn't work. And I know for me, this year that just didn't work. Like I needed for my own spiritual well-being and emotional health to have total flexibility. But that didn't mean that I abandoned my planner. I just used it in a different way. So there's planners like that. There are also smaller planners. And so like sometimes I'll use those as journals. This is the Wee Moon planner that is, it says Gaia Rhythms for Women. And I like this planner because it has the weeks laid out with the moon cycles and then lots of like inspirational art and poetry from different artists. And there's also like information, big chunks of information in the beginning about like astrological cycles of the year, things that you need to be thinking about, you know, if you don't even know astrology, but you kind of want to really work with the energy of the year. And it has like the ephemeris and all kinds of things in the back. So I actually get one of these also. I don't plan my day-to-day, but I use it to help keep track of my energy. So I actually use the second planner, like this is my day planner, but I'll use this planner in order to mark like when my period or my moon time happens or when significant emotional things happen that I want to be able to look at a glance. It really helps with my co-parenting and with complex family situations, because if I ever need a reference point for how that's going, I can look back at my past Wee Moon planners. I also use this for planning ceremonies and rituals and like things that feel very important for me to do with myself or with my family members. So I'm not saying you should have all the planners, but I wanted to share with you ideas around how to use these in planning. If you have an energetic-based practice, like a business, or even if you don't, like even if you run something very, very mainstream in like society, you can still work with an astrology calendar like that in order to get a sense of like when the best times to do things are, you know, and like it's often a good thing to plan things during the waxing moon and to allow yourself a little rest around the waning moon. And the more you kind of look at those things, the more you know how true that is for you and like when your true rest cycles are. And they very often coincide with moon phases. So maybe you don't need a whole desk planner like that, but another option that's very popular is the Llewellyn astrological wall calendar. So this is one I've used off and on through the years, and I love it because I love like fantasy art, and I really love like I just love this kind of stuff, you know, like to be able to go, ooh, what's my horoscope for the month? And it's there, you know. But I am really inspired by fantasy of art of many kinds because of how I grew up. So with the wall calendar, it's the same kind of thing. Like, it's really great to just have a wall calendar around. And this one has a lot of the cycles of the season, the moons and the seasons. So you can work that into your planning. Like, if you are planning on having a really deep, huge discussion and then you're like, oh, when should we do it? And you look and it's like Mercury retrograde that day, then that might change how you plan things, right? So the other thing that I love to do with wall calendars specifically is I actually love to use them to track my business goals. So if you have like financial goals around your business, like specific ones, maybe you're trying to grow your healing practice and it's still small, you can put that financial goal at the top of your calendar, and every day you put in the box like where you are with that. Like, you can write your successes in. So if you conquered a fear about getting on a live, write that in the box, you know, and use that. And then if you hit financial goals, write that in a box, and use that wall calendar as like a victory wall where you can really see and celebrate each month all of the things that are going really right for you. So you don't look at the calendar and see a bunch of stuff that's going to exhaust you. Instead, you look at the calendar and you see how good you're doing. And I think we really need that. I think I wanted to share just one other last resource that I really love, and I've gotten it almost every year. And that is Leonie Dawson does a series of planner books that are not really meant to hold you through the year, but rather they're meant to, well, they can hold you through the year, but they're also meant to like inspire you so that you can get clear about what you want. So if you're that person that's like, Dailey, I don't know what I want to create in 2021. I have no idea. Then her planners might be great because she has a work planner and a life planner. And this year she's called it the Goal Getter. So this planner is super colorful. It's meant to awaken your inner child. And she kind of talks about a lot of things that are really great to know about goals and planning. So it's a little bit education. It gets you a little bit like jazzed up about things. And then she has a whole process for like things that you can do, like you know, a gratitude page, like just to get your gratitude going. It's like a workbook, right? And then there's places to like figure out what resources, and you can color them in. And then very, very specifically, like places to really look at different aspects of your life. Like, how do you want to deepen your friendships? How do you want to deepen your family? What are the things you want to do as an adventuresome spirit? What are your health goals? And where do you, like, how do you feel about your body? And all of these kinds of things. Like, if you have, there's one here about money. If you have money issues, oh, there's some highlights, like lately being anti-racist or changing the world have been topics. So she offers resources in here. So I've really enjoyed, she even talks about retreat days, ritual days. It's just a fun workbook. And I've really enjoyed using this as like, working with this as something that I can just sit down and brainstorm and dream. So if you're somebody that you're not sure where you want to go, you really just kind of need more structure to get clear, her Goal Getter workbooks, Leonie Dawson's Goal Getter workbooks are really great. And I think they're only on sale for another 4 or 5 weeks through her website or through Amazon, like in January. It closes, I think, at the end of January. But those are some resources. So those are my favorite planners. I also love just writing notebooks to like plan my ideas. And at the start of every planning process, I always print up plain Google like calendars, just blank ones, and I lay them out on the table in order to actually plan my year. So I'll come back on at some point to talk more about that process and how you can really lay out your year for business. I think I'll come back on. You have to let me know if that sounds interesting, because it's a pretty cool process, and I think it's just illuminating. It helps you to see how things need to be laid out if you're a business. Okay, so that's it. I just wanted to talk about those things. Oh yeah, sometimes we get derailed, right? So it's like, okay, here's all these planners. You start the year, it feels really good. And then the biggest thing is you want to stay consistent. So like once a month at the beginning of the month, I'll just put aside an hour or two and I will, again, like do a mini vision board or do a little journaling exercise, or I'll pull out like Leonie's workbook and I'll just spend a little time in that. It's not all meant to be done at once. This is huge, you know? And I think just putting that time aside as an important ritual for your self-care in life is great, because it creates consistency and helps you to have the space to really focus in a practical way on the month that's coming and the things that are coming. So I like to do that usually on the first of the month following the solar calendar. But I have at times done that as a new moon ceremony, that every new moon I work with the Goal Getter book and I pull a tarot card and I ponder and be creative in thought, right? So it's important to have that consistency and to return to the planner every day, every week as a magical tool to help you really see what you're creating and where you want to go. Sometimes we do get thrown off, and it can often be because that consistency isn't there. So if you fill out the planner or you buy a planner and then you just forget it and you forget about it, then it's not gonna be that magical tool for you. So it's really important to like be consistent in those processes. Another way that we sometimes get derailed is from boundaries. We may have real challenges of time boundaries or personal boundaries. And what I mean by that is, you know, this stuff is important to you, but then your kid is crying out for food, or your boyfriend or girlfriend really wants to see you, or you know, there's this really cool event coming and you just want to do that instead of going home and planning, right? And that's all boundary stuff. Sometimes it's about decisions, but a lot of it is just boundaries. It's recognizing that if you want to grow something, then you have to honor space for that, and that your loved ones, your family that's calling for you, they're all there. They're all going to be calling. It'll always be there in different forms. And you don't have to pick and choose. You can just honor that you need space for yourself to do these things. And when you give yourself that, it actually allows you to feel more spacious and more present with those relationships. And it allows you to be really free when you do go out and you do that Sunday farmers market or that hike or whatever, because you know you've taken care of your business, right? So the time boundaries are really important. And for me, in order to try to honor that, and sometimes I'm good at it and sometimes I'm not, and that's when things go sideways, I actually write those times into my planner. So just as I'd make a date with somebody else, like, oh, we're gonna go hiking or whatever, I also will write into my planner daily time, like planner time or happy planning, right? And then I have to honor that my time for myself, the dates I make with myself, are just as important as the dates I make with other people. And then there's one other way that we sometimes get derailed from the amazing plan of all the planners, and that is that we stop listening to our true self. Inside of you, somewhere deep inside, you really know how you want to feel, and you know what you want, and you also kind of know what has to be done. And most of us get really disconnected from that feeling. We just kind of lose track of it, or we even shut a door and pretend it's not there. We suppress it if it feels in conflict with all of the other things we have to do or be in the world. And we may create or feel that we're in these conflicts between the duties we have with friends or family versus the things we really want for ourselves. And I encourage you to really use your Reiki practice and your meditation time to clear a lot of that, and to be present where you're feeling those conflicts, so that you can dissolve those conflicts and come into true resonance with what your true self wants. So I know that for myself, it's like sometimes I have in my planner that I have to go in there and I have to wake up and do this planning and do that and do that and do that. And instead of my planner feeling like this joyful, liberated thing, it feels like my jail keeper, and that I've literally created a life that has so much to do in order for me to be successful that I hate it. And then I don't do it. Then I don't want to do any of it, right? My inner rebel screams like, no way, this is exhausting. I don't want to do anything. And so I abandon it. And in a way, in that moment, I'm abandoning my life, right? And so to heal that, it's so important to start to recognize those moments. And if you're creating planners as a way of like being a general to yourself to make you jump through hoops, then releasing that is really important. And remembering that your planner is meant to be joyful is really important. So there might be things you don't want to do, but the planner is there to help you figure out how you can delegate those things, or what real conversations need to happen in your life with loved ones so that you have the support and the accountability and like the sort of team effort in your life around things, so that you're not just carrying a huge load of responsibilities all alone. So that true self piece is a big issue. And a lot of times I see clients kind of go sideways, and I myself go sideways because of that, that being not in sync, right? And so then you just look at it and you go, oh, got here again. And you kind of like gently work yourself back into the place of remembering how joyful the work can actually be. So I'm wishing you a lot of goodness with this, and I encourage you to go out and find a planner that really excites you. And that, my friends, is why I have this leopard, like animal print, black and gold planner for 2021, because it excites me. And it even has like little quotes and things. I can't even find them. Oh, here's one. There's little quotes at the bottom of the pages, like, be a kind human. I love that, be a kind human. And this colorful flowery one was perfect for the year before. So I hope that all of that info stands you in good stead. Remember that you can reach this video if you're just coming on by going to the units tab in the success circle in our group. And if you click there, there's a ton of videos. There's like 100 videos. And maybe just like 25 or 26 of these coffee chats. But this is kind of just a primer on the mindset of why planners can be great. And there really are statistics that if you set intentions and then you craft goals around them, you are like way more likely, like some ridiculous number, like 70 or 80% more likely to achieve those goals. So if you're really serious about creating something for 2021, making a shift, alchemizing things in your life, then it's really great to begin with how you want to feel, what worked or didn't work before, how you want to feel, and then actually crafting this beautiful kind of structure to hold you in making that happen. Okay, I'm thanking you guys for being here today, and I'm sending you lots of love, and I may be on later to do some reads. Bye.